The other type of HA that you can set up is active-active, and this will allow both firewalls in the cluster to be active as traffic through those firewalls will be load balanced between them. This kind of HA mode can be used if you want to distribute the load between the firewalls or if you don't want the other firewall to be idle, basically using what you have. However, this can create some troubleshooting challenges because you can't easily determine which firewall you should be looking at or where the root of the problem lies within the cluster. So that is something to keep in mind. So in this video, we will be setting up active-active HA in our cluster, which is currently set up for active-passive. So to change that, let's go to Configure. And then let's go to our master firewall in this cluster, which is this one right below here. And here under mode, we will select active-active. Now, everything else here will be the same based on how active standby or active passive was set up with the heartbeat interface and the ports that we want to monitor. So let's go ahead and apply our changes. Okay, and doing that will reset our connection. So let's trust this new connection. Make an exception. Okay, and let's log back in. Okay, so now we're logged in and you will see that the HA status now reflects active-active instead of active-passive. Our changes will also sync to the other firewall in the cluster and will enable it for active-active high availability on that firewall as well. So for example, let's view the HA cluster. So here you will see that our master firewall is back with firewall number 1 and the slave firewall is firewall number 2. You will see that even though we enabled active-active within the cluster, one firewall is the master and the other is the slave. This only means that all changes that you perform must be done on the master firewall, which will be synchronized to the slave firewall. The load balancing pertains to data traffic. So the master firewall is enabled for active-active, and we know that by going back to the actual settings here. And there you see the mode of active-active. Let's go back to the HA cluster page again. And when you view the HA details of the slave firewall, which is firewall number 2, let's do that. Now this doesn't show any details because you cannot make any changes to the secondary or the slave elected firewall. Now the question is, how can you quickly confirm if active-active is load balancing the traffic between the two firewalls? Well, the best way is going under the HA statistics page. Let's go there now. And let's refresh this page every 5 seconds. We can do that by selecting 5 seconds. And you will see that there are 34 active sessions established through each of the firewalls, which means that it is load balancing the sessions. Now, depending on those sessions, some may have higher network usage, packets, and even bytes transferred. So that is normal. So we are definitely getting a good load distribution based on the active sessions that we see here. And while all of this is happening, we have been doing a continuous ping from our user computer and accessing various websites, which are generating some of these active sessions that you see from the HA statistics page. But furthermore, its failover behavior is the same as active-passive failover. So there's nothing new there. It just basically means that with active-active, both firewalls are active running at the same time instead of one being active and the other being idle.